Welcome back to Pride. In today's video, this is going to be another video for the Won't Start section on Pride Martial Arts. We're going to be helping out a friend. He has a 200cc dirt bike. This is the carburetor to that dirt bike, and he's having some problems with starting his dirt bike. He has actually a very uncommon problem. He has a lot of trouble starting it, but once he gets it running by using starter fluid and by trying several times, the bike runs great. The only problem is starting the dirt bike. So I'm guessing that it's going to be that pilot jet, because the pilot jet is the one responsible for starting the bike, not the main jet, not the needle jet. One thing to do before doing any work on a carburetor is you want to drain the bowl. This is the bowl here where a lot of fuel will sit. Of course, he brought me this carburetor nice and full, so I drained it using that drain tube. You just stick this tube into a gas can and then loosen that Phillips head screw, and it'll let all the fuel that is in this bowl flow straight out that line right into a fuel can, creating a lot less mess for yourself before taking apart this carburetor. Now, to get to all the jets on this carburetor, we're just going to remove that bottom bowl. We're going to go real gentle when removing these screws. They look like they're a little bit nicked up already. We don't want to strip those. So we're going to remove those 3 screws to remove this bowl. Alright, I've removed all 3 screws. This bowl is just going to come right out. Inside of the bowl looks nice and clean. The gasket is still intact. The gasket looks good. We'll put the bowl off to the side. Next thing you want to look at is that float. You want to make sure that float is moving properly and opening and closing that valve so that when that bowl fills up with fuel and the float moves up, it closes the valve to stop fuel from coming into that bowl. Alright, you can see here when the bowl was still on, this jet here is the fuel air mixture jet. Here's our main jet. So our pilot jet must be this one right here, right next to that main jet. That's got to be our pilot jet. Yep, just 3 jets. Well, 4 on this carburetor, because you got your main jet and then your needle jet. So let's go ahead and take out this pilot jet. We're just going to use a flathead screwdriver and take out that pilot jet and take a look at what it looks like. Alright, so we have our pilot jet out. Those are the threads where it was right there in the center. We're looking at our pilot jet, and you want to make sure your pilot jet is clear all the way through. So we're going to run a needle through all the holes just to make sure nothing is clogged. Then we can also spray it with some carb cleaner, making sure that it's clean all the way through so that gas can flow freely. So if any of these holes are clogged, or the main hole right here, it's not going to send any fuel up when trying to start your bike. I can see through these ones, and you can see the needle goes straight through, so these were not clogged. We'll spray them anyway. We'll see if we can see through this jet. Alright, we're going to spray it down now and see if we can get air to go through, making sure everything is clear. Now we're going to just spray through right here, making sure that carb cleaner comes out the other side. and we'll aim it right at our carburetor because we want some starter fluid on there anyway. You always want to aim it in a safe direction. We've got clearance all the way through. It might have been slightly clogged. I didn't really see any major clog, but it might have been slightly clogged. And we're also going to put some carb cleaner down right where this jet sits as well. Also keeping in mind that carb cleaner will come back out at you if you spray too hard. So eye protection, very important when working on a carburetor using carburetor cleaner. Now, once you've got your idle jet nice and clean and you've cleaned out the inside as well, we're going to set that idle jet back in. And we're going to want to give another spray once it's installed, making sure that everything is clear. I'm just going to give that an eighth or a quarter of a turn. Maybe a full half a turn to get that jet nice and tight. And then we're going to spray right into that idle jet. And we want to see that starter fluid is coming through. This way we know fuel will be going into the carburetor, delivering to the engine. There we go. That straight line that came straight through shows us good clearance. While we have the bowl off and we've got the carburetor open, we'll also spray through our main jet, making sure everything is clean before reassembling. Now we should be good to go. We're just going to put our bowl cover back on. We're going to insert those 3 screws, tighten them up. This carburetor is going to be good to go. We're going to give it back to my buddy, and hopefully we'll hear some good news from him that problem has stopped. And next time he brings me a carburetor, I'm going to make sure he watches this video. This way he knows how to drain that bowl of the fuel before bringing me a carburetor to work on. Thank you guys for watching. You could find more videos like this in the Won't Start section playlist on Pride Martial Arts. Be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for all future videos.